Hello fellow game developers, I hope you're doing good, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to generate coins in different shapes just like in Jetpack Joyride. So let's jump right into it. First of all, I'm going to create a new empty game object on which we are going to attach our script, and I'm going to call it coin generator. And I'm also going to create a new C# script to attach to our game object, and I'm going to call it coin generator also. Let's get right into coding part because that's where all the magic happens. We don't need update function for this, so I'm going to get rid of it first, and I'm going to create a new variable of type texture2d which is going to store our coin map. And we're going to create a new helper class which is going to store our color and prefab. Let's call this class color to prefab, and it doesn't need to be derived from mono behavior, so we're not going to mention that. And inside it we will have two variables. First one is going to store the prefabs, and the second one is going to store the color. And since we're not deriving it from mono behavior, so we need to mark it serializable in order to access it from the inspector window. So to do that, I'm going to write system.serializable, and with that it will show up in the inspector window. Now we can create an array where each element in the array is a class that we just created, and we're going to use it to store different prefabs for different colors. And once we have that in place, we are ready to calculate the location of pixels in our coin map. For that, we are going to write a new function, and I'm going to call it generate map. And we are going to identify the location of pixels by looping through the width and height of the map. And if the color of pixel matches our condition, then we are going to instantiate the corresponding coin at its position. To loop through the image, we are going to create two for loops. One will loop through the x coordinates, and the second one will loop through the y coordinates. And for each loop, we are going to call the function which is going to generate coins at the given coordinates of x and y. And I'm going to call this function generate coins, and it is going to take x and y values from the loop, and these are the coordinates of the pixels. Now let's create this function, and it will take two arguments, that is x and y, and both are of type integer. Now this is a function where we match the pixel color and instantiate the coins accordingly. So first of all, we are going to get the color of the coordinate, and for that we have a function in Unity which is called getPixel, and we're going to store that information in a variable of type color. So now all the color information of the x and y coordinates of coin map is stored in map color variable. So we are going to loop through each element of our color to prefab array. So for that I'm going to use for each loop, and if color of the current element of array matches map color variable, then instantiate prefab which we have in obj variable at position of pixel coordinates which are x and y. So I'm going to create a new vector2 variable to store the value of x and y, and we're going to use this in our instantiate statement, and we don't need any rotation to it. And I'm going to parent it to a new game object called parent obj, and come up here to declare a new variable by the name of parent obj. So all the coins are going to be child of parent obj. So now when we come back to Unity and attach the script to our game object, we're going to see couple of fields here. The first one is the coin map, in which we are going to store our texture map for the coins. This one is the array of the helper class that we created. So I'm going to bump up the value to 1. So now each element has a prefab field and a color field. So what this means is that we're going to instantiate this prefab wherever the pixel color is black. And the third field is going to take the game object which will work as parent for all the coins. Now let's jump into Photoshop and create a map for our coins. I'm going to create a new document of size 48 by 8 pixels and select the pencil tool. Make sure the size is set to 1 and hardness is set to 0, and remember to create a new layer so that we don't mess up. So let's draw some pixels on this map, and we're going to use it in Unity. I'm going to turn off the background layer and save this file in PNG format. So now jumping back to Unity, we've got our coin maps folder here, and I have some pre-made maps in it, and also the one we just created. But before we move on, it is mandatory to make some changes to our texture map. So the first one being changing the filter mode to no point, and in compression we need to set it to none, and the most important one is to make sure that the read write enabled is checked on, otherwise the get pixel function will not work because it requires the read and write enabled checked on. So I'm going to hit apply and start filling the fields with the right permission. So in the coin map, I'm going to drag and drop the coin map that we created in Photoshop. And here I have a couple of prefabs of coins of different colors. So I'm going to place the golden one in the prefab field of array. And for the color, I'm going to select black, as we have black pixels on our map, and make sure to bump up the alpha to 255. And also we need an empty parent obj under which all the coins are going to be instantiated. So I'm going to create an empty game object and call it parent obj. And I'm going to assign it to our third field. So now when we hit play button, this is something we will have, and this is exactly what we are trying to achieve. And I'm going to select the parent obj and drag it to the prefab folder to convert it into a prefab so that we can use it later anytime. We can do this if we have multiple colors in our map. So here I have a map which has two colors in it, red and black, and I'm going to place it in coin map field and increase the size of array to 2. The first element is going to stay the same, and the second one I'm going to change the color of it to red, and make sure the value of color matches exactly the value of color in the map, otherwise it won't work. And for the prefab, I'm going to use a coin of red color. So now when we hit play button, whoa, this looks pretty. So here I have a scene setup ready in which I have a game object which is going to randomly instantiate different shape of coins, and each shape is going to get destroyed after 2 seconds. So when I play it now, this is how it looks like, and I think this is a really awesome technique, and you can create any shape with any object with it. It doesn't have to be coins, it can be diamonds, it can be trash cans, it can be rocks, or I don't know, like stars, just anything you want. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and you can also connect with me on your favorite social platforms. The links are in the description below, and you can also support me by subscribing to the channel. So I see you very soon with another video. Until then, take care.